in terms of, to wrap it up, and the work that you do and how you help athletes, rising generation family members, entrepreneurs, business people, VCs. Talk a little bit about kind of wrapping up our conversation and what you do and how people could learn more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I've loved, by the way, I've loved today. This has been really fun. What I do is I condition on an athlete's point of view, but let's talk about, it could be F1, but let's talk about VC companies, hedge funds, let's talk about the finance world, but also let's talk about family offices, because that's why we're here. What I do is something called personal optimization. Personal optimization is split into two different categories. It's split into peak performance, and it's split into personal advisory, okay? So peak performance is where we look at with business, get the business ROI. It's split into three different categories: the mind, the nervous system, and neurochemistry. The mind is where we use modalities like neuro-linguistic programming, which I'm a world-class expert at, behavioral psychology, all of these different things, including persuasion and influence, right? Tech, or the nervous system, is where we introduce tech. This is neurofeedback, photobiomodulation, heart coherence, these things. And then we look at neurochemistry, where we can introduce nootropics, we bring in doctors, we look at the supplementation, the blood work, we can do all of that stuff. So that's for peak performance. The other side of it is what I call personal advisory. And you touched on that with the EQ side, right? This is where we're creating fulfillment and optimization at home and in business, right? Because I really believe with this ecosystem, whether it's founders, managers, teams, or families, right? We all need a safe space to drop their identity, right? So they can speak about personal matters. So you can open up and unlock blue ocean thinking. So you can discuss stresses, emotions, changes in perspective, right? We can unload depression or personal issues or tactics, or even with families, we can have a safe space to be truthful about succession, fears, and self-sabotage. So when we look at personal optimization, I split it into those two different areas, and that really covers anybody in any world who is a true high performer. Because what I cannot do is give people motivation, right? What I can do is fine-tune anybody on the planet from any level to be the best and ultimate version of themselves. And that's my passion. This is what I've done for 21 years. And I'm just getting started.
Yeah, you said something that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine in a good way, because you have the same attitude. I like it. I hate when people, and again, I'm trying to clean it up and being a little politically correct. I hate when people say, oh, you're fine just as you are. Go and, you're going to get the spouse or the loved one of your dreams. You're going to become a billionaire. You're going to get this job. You're just fine as you are. No, you're not. You're likely not good enough. It gets a little better. Relax. Don't get mad, audience. You're not the best version of yourself that you could be. If you show a level of, I want to be great, I'm willing to be disciplined, I'm willing to learn what that's going to take. And I know that's not going to happen in a day, probably won't even happen in a week, a month, or a year. But I'm willing to take that first step. The best way to eat an elephant is simply one bite at a time. So no, do not be satisfied. Don't listen to your friends who tell you you're good enough as you are. You're probably not. You're not the best version of yourself. I know that's a kick in the pants to some of you. I'm just telling you the reality of how it is. Andy, if you disagree, you could yell at me.
No, I agree 100%. Because, I just to add on to that before we wrap up, because I value everyone's time, and especially yours, Angela. If you were already the best version of you, you would have already achieved the result that you wanted, right? That's the truth.
It's the harsh truth. And it's okay to have a harsh truth. Yes. It should put the cold water on your face and realize there's things you could do to be the best version of yourself. Andy, and I think the work you're doing is amazing. I highly recommend people learn more and reach out. How can they learn more, either on a website, on social media, and how can they reach out to you?
The andymurphy.online is the website. And you can access my podcast there. You can reach out to me there. We've done over 2 million downloads. We've done over 400 episodes of the podcast, and had a lot of world-class guests on. But really, let's just have a chat, because everyone's situation is so unique, so different. And I work with so many different types of people. All I do is we book in a time, we have a chat, and see how I can help you, if I can help you. And we take
And one more time, Andy, either the website and or your email.
Andy Murphy, Andy Murphy .online, or Andy at andymurphy.online.
I've been a fan of some of Andy's material. I'm relatively new the last couple of months, but I loved it. I think it's intellectual, yet also it's down home, it's passionate, and you could tell he's a big advocate and is confident. I could argue there's no such thing as confidence because it can't be measured. He's competent. That could be measured. So I highly recommend you have an opportunity to reach out. Everyone on Angelo Robles, the Family Office TV, SFO Continuity, which is my private kind of mastermind membership group, as well as Family Office Masterclass, where I teach the world practically 98% of what I know about the family office community and how to have a great family office. Most everything I do for now is under my brand. So my name as well, like Andy, AngeloRobles.com. I have a relatively unique name, so I was able to get the .com, thank God.